We are in the Daintree National Park and we are looking for this. Supposedly, it's a real bird. It stands about 6-7 feet tall and it's called a cassowary, and it's only found here. It's considered to be the world's most dangerous bird to humans. So we've come to Northern Australia, specifically here, to the world's oldest tropical rainforest, now called the Daintree National Park, to see if we can't spot a cassowary. Last week, I went on a safari in the outback. We were chasing kangaroos and emus, and that's when one of the other bird watchers asked me if I had ever seen a cassowary before. It's described as being the third tallest bird in the world, and instead of feathers, it's covered in hair. It has giant dinosaur-looking talons for feet, plus a long neck and bright blue face with a bone on its head. And that's when I knew I had to come see it for myself. This is either going to be a really easy video or a really tough video. I'm Mike, welcome to DownieLive. Today, we're looking for the cassowary. So this is the plan on how we're going to spot this thing. There's one road that runs north-south along the coastline here. It has a lot of cassowary crossings and a couple other spots, a cassowary boardwalk, and other places where I think we can see it. So our first stop is a regular stomping ground for the cassowary. But the first stop is this palm farm for coffee. Do you do long blacks? Yes, of course. Some coffee shops might have a dog to greet you, but never a pig. Oh. It says right here on the board, I saw a cassowary today at the Palm Farm, which is where we are, on the 18th, which was 11 days ago. We're close. There are a couple of peacocks here, big birds, but not what we're after. We've got our coffee. We said hi to our pig for the day. Time to go see some more.
Oh my god, look at how muddy it is.
You want belly scratches? You want belly scratches? You're not a cassowary, but you're pretty cute. You're pretty cute.
What a tough life for this little guy. What a tough life for this little guy.
They also have the Cassowary Boardwalk, and this is what we're hoping to see. These boardwalks are a good quiet area where we actually have a chance of spotting what we're looking for. But particularly, it has the most incredible fan palms I've ever seen. Beautiful boardwalk, but no cassowaries, so we're gonna keep going. Now, as we head to the next spot, speeding is really frowned upon through here because a cassowary could step out of the bush at any time. Now, I've learned one good tip over the years. Find the food source and you'll find what you're looking for. So this next stop should be a good chance to spot one. Now, there's lots of fruit in the tropical rainforest for a cassowary to eat. This is the one they're really looking for. It looks a little like a blue plum maybe, and I'm told not to touch it. Basically, if there's anything colorful in a tropical rainforest, it's probably toxic. And if I touch this and then accidentally touched my eyes, apparently I would go blind. But that same effect is what the cassowaries like so much about it. They kind of get drunk off it. So we're gonna keep our eyes peeled for the blue plum. That's not actually what it's called. This is what it's called. I think the more often we see those, the more likely we are to see a cassowary. So if you think about it, they're like 2-meter tall birds just drunkenly walking through the jungle. And just like last week, there's no bathroom tour this week. And this is starting to feel very Steve Irwin-esque, but I promise that I'm not trying to be him. But I think we've discovered scat. That definitely looks huge and like cassowary scat. Plus it's full of the insides of all those fruits we were talking about. So I'm not about to taste it or touch it to feel how warm it is or how fresh it is and see if there's one nearby. We're just gonna keep walking along the path. The main animals that live here, obviously a lot of birds, frogs, snakes, spiders, like I mentioned, a lot of insects, but also tree kangaroos, and that's a real thing. We'll show that here. They like live in the trees. And I guess the worst case scenario would be I run into a cassowary, which is kind of what we're looking for. Now, apparently we can't just spend our whole vacation looking for a giant bird. So we're gonna go for dinner and then to a night hike to see what the jungle's like at night. But don't worry, I've picked a specific place to eat tonight. Come to dinner. It's called the Cassowary Restaurant. There's a cassowary above the door, just rubbing it in our faces until we see one. No, don't worry, there isn't any cassowary on the menu here, but they do serve crocodile. But we are going out on a tour this evening, hoping to spot a cassowary at night. It turns out the tropical rainforest is full of giant huntsman spiders and tree frogs and beetles and scorpions, insects, but no cassowaries. Which really shouldn't be surprising since they're not nocturnal. But pretty interesting tour nonetheless. Well, a lot of spiders and insects, but no cassowaries tonight. Maybe we'll find the elusive bird tomorrow. Now, in order to ensure that we do see the cassowary, we've chosen to stay in the Daintree Wilderness Lodge in these little cabins out actually in the rainforest. Oh my gosh, there's a bird right there. Apparently, there is a cassowary that lives in the area and does come through here every 2 or 3 days or so. That's about as long as we're staying here for, so hopefully we'll catch a glimpse of them. The owner says the cassowary comes through here because they have trees that drop the fruit that the cassowaries eat. But most often, the cassowary is found in the parking lot because it likes looking at its reflection in the window. I mean, who doesn't? Oh. Now, this morning, as much as I'd like to keep cruising these roads, hoping to spot a cassowary along the many crossing areas, Nicole signed us up for a morning activity. Since the Daintree rainforest is the oldest tropical rainforest in the world, it has been designated a World Heritage Site. But it also sits right next to another World Heritage Site. So I figured while we're here, we might as well go check that one out too. So we are going to the Great Barrier Reef. I mean, it would be silly to come all this way and not get out to see the Great Barrier Reef. There are over 3,000 reefs in the Great Barrier Reef, and we're about to snorkel one of them. This little tour had us snorkeling along the reef, and I was impressed at just how much it was teeming with fish. And we even got lucky enough to spot a sea turtle too. Really, cruising in amongst some of the reef really made me, just for a moment, feel like I'm in Finding Nemo. But it's time to head back to land, because I have a mission to accomplish. Wow, what a stunning place. All right, let's head back into the rainforest. Can you hear that? I'm not adding that in afterwards. That is actually how loud it is in here. That looks like more scat. This is really creepy. Is there a 6.5 foot tall bird out there watching me while I'm trying to spot it? We may never know. I should add for context, I'm not just walking through the woods randomly. This is a nature path. There's also not really any big animals that are out hunting humans. There's no like jaguars or panthers here in Australia. There are a lot of poisonous animals, frogs, snakes, spiders. Just don't touch those. Again, I'm not from here. This is just everything I'm told. This guy isn't that big. He's probably just a teenager or so. You can tell because the bone on their head keeps growing throughout their life, and, well, this one's not that tall. The locals here tell me they've named him Rick. It's like a giant dinosaur. Now, the cassowary as a bird has been around for 70 million years, which makes it a direct descendant of dinosaurs. And it looks like it. The reason the cassowary is considered the most dangerous bird to humans is because of its powerful legs, which help it to run at 30 miles per hour, but also can deliver a powerful kick with its huge talons. Really, the 4-inch long claws will slice or puncture any animal that is a threat, including us. Of course, if you keep your distance and you don't get between them and their young, you should be fine. Obviously, don't try to feed or pet them. If you enjoyed today's video and you're new to the channel, I recommend you, well, A, subscribe, but also watch last week's video where we took a river safari in the outback, and it is full of kangaroo and emus. I'm Mike. I don't know where I'm going next, but I know I want you there with me. I'll see you next week.